Hey everyone, happy Friday to you. Hope you're having a great day and kicking off this weekend for the May long weekend. Hope you have some plans to have some R&R and to chill out. Hope you got some good plans there. Today I'm jumping on because I want to talk to you about an episode that I did recently on my podcast, and it's called The Best Game in Town. There's a book by James Carse and it's called The Finite and Infinite Games. And there's been a lot of good work that has happened because of this book. People like Sinek and Seth Godin, among other people. But those two individuals I heard recently talk about this idea of infinite and finite games. So I want to talk about Simon Sinek a bit. So he wrote a book called Leaders Eat Last. And he talks about this contrast between the infinite and the finite games and what that is. So a finite game this is the parameters of a finite game. Is that there are known players, so it's fairly exclusive. Only a certain amount of people can play the game, and they all have to agree to what the game is. Second of all, there are rules that have to be abided by in order for us to play fairly. And then there's an objective to the game. And in order for us to win, we need to play by the rules, and the objective is to win, right? We're not going to play the game if there's no hope of us winning. So that's a finite game. And we know what a finite game is. We play these often in our lives. And on the episode I talk about my kids playing shotgun and they want to sit in the front seat, so they play it all the time. We play games in our house. We play games with ourselves, right? We want to win. We want to achieve. We want to set goals. And there's nothing wrong with the finite game. The finite game can get us up, can get us motivated. It has specific elements to it. By the nature of it being finite, there are limitations and there are set boundaries to what a finite game can look like. Athletic sort of environments certainly look like this, where you've got the Stanley Cup Championships going on right now. I love watching them. It's fun to participate in the activities of what they're playing and just get caught up in the drama of it all. And it's fun, right? Because it has a certain parameter to it that is finite. It's a very finite game. Now, on the opposite side of this, you have the infinite game. Now, what is an infinite game? Well, an infinite game is a little bit different. First of all, it's more inclusive. There are not just a set amount of people playing the game, but you can have an unlimited amount of people playing the game. It's not just two teams or two people in the marketplace or three kids playing shotgun trying to get the front seat. It's kind of open for anyone who wants to play. The second thing is that the rules are malleable. They're not so fixed in stone. There's more freedom here to explore maybe how it can be played a little bit differently. Maybe 20 years ago, we played a game like this in our world, in our finances, in our jobs, in our social connection with people, and now it's shifted. So the rules are a little bit different now, and maybe 10 years from now, it'd be different again. And then the last part, probably the most important piece, is that the objective to an infinite game is not to win or to lose, but it's simply just to play for the sake of playing. And that's a hard one to get our heads around, because we want to know, can I win in this, right? Can I come out on top? Can I beat the other person? Can I buy that product before someone else buys that product? Can I earn the promotion before someone else gets the promotion? Can I win? Can I be number one, right? If you're a company, can I be the number one in my marketplace? If I'm in a team, can I be the number one champion of this year for this playoff season, right? Those are how we think, but the infinite game, that starts to dissolve, and we're not playing to win, and we're not afraid to lose, but we're just playing just to play. Those kind of games, I think, are ultimately the better game. I don't think the finite game is bad. I don't think it's wrong. I don't think that we need to avoid finite measurements. So, for example, like if you have goals in your life, and I hope that you do, and I hope that they're specific. I hope that you are being smart in your goals, right? Have you heard of this? So specific, attainable, measurable, relevant, I'm missing one here, and timely. I'm gonna miss a letter there, but like goals that have like specific parameters to it. Because if we don't have specificity, then how do we know if we're gonna hit the goal? It's all good. Like we really need those goals. But the infinite game, it's longer, and we're not so caught up. So even if I don't technically win, it's okay, because my intention wasn't necessarily just to win. If anything, it was just to be better version of myself than I was before, right? That's my marker, my measuring stick. When we play the finite game, we will always be frustrated with that game, because no matter how hard we work, even if you win, you could have won a little bit better, right? You could have scored a couple extra points, or you could have earned a little bit more money than what you thought you were going to earn, or you could have got a few more likes on Facebook than what you thought you wanted to, or like you can always be wanting more because we're not quite satisfied with maybe the results that we're getting. So the beauty of the infinite game, I think, is that it allows us to play for the sake of playing. And the awesome thing here is that there's no pressure to win, and there's no fear in losing, right? So there's no pressure for us to somehow come on top, and there's no fear that we're going to lose out on something. That I think is the beauty that's inherently woven into this infinite game that we can play. And we can participate with other people, not so much because we're trying to compete against other people and we see them as an opposition, but more as partners. Because if I feel like I have already won, like the things that are most important to me, if I already have those things as far as self-value and worth and identity, then when I show up on the playing field and when I get to work every day, I'm not doing that because my identity is at stake and I need to have like proof to validate that I'm winning the game, but I'm going to play because why not? Why not play some sort of games where I can compete, or that I can compete against myself, that I can question the rules and say, you know what, Brad, I used to operate like this a couple years ago, but you don't have to do that anymore. You change it up, like change how you're doing this, and why not doing something else? And why can't you just let go of this dichotomy of win-lose and don't worry about that? You're taken care of. Just play because it's fun. See how far you can push yourself. See how far you can outdo yourself. And then when you do that, then there really is no competition. The competition is yourself, right? And that, I think, is a way better game. I think, and the cool thing is that when people operate like that, and as well as even businesses can play the infinite game and really get amazing results. So one example of this would be the company that I've aligned myself with, doTERRA. I think that they play the infinite game. They don't really care if they are number 1 or number 2 or number 5 on the ranking. They're not measuring their success or their value based on how they're doing against other people in that same space. They're just wanting to be better than themselves. They just want to make sure that what they're doing is the best that they can do. And it's across the board. So we can play the infinite game and it still lands within a very finite experience that we all can measure, and we can have like specific parameters to it all. So my challenge to you today, my question is, would you play a game that you can't win, nor one that you could lose? Can you envision that? Can you use your imagination of what would that game look like to you? And it could be very similar to what you're doing now, but it's a slight tweak in how you're looking at it, so that when you step into your role in your family life, in your workspace, in your hobbies, and the things that are important to you, it's like, have you heard the phrase that when you set your intention but you let go of the outcome? This is another way to phrase that. You set your goal, you set your intention of, I would like to work on this, but when you let go of the outcome, you're letting go of this idea of winning or losing at your objective that you have. Because your objective is not necessarily just to come up with a prize of self-recognition or meeting some specific goal, but you're actually just wanting to play because it's fun, because it actually means something to you. And the impact that you can have on people's lives, I feel, it's more fluid here. There's no boundaries, there's no rigidity to it. I will have an impact when I know that this has happened. It has a bit more life and flow to it. So if you want to check out more, I have a podcast about this. It's episode number 15. It's called The Best Game in Town. Check it out. Let me know what your thoughts are if you want to post on here. Would you play that game? Do you want to play the infinite game? What are your thoughts? Love to hear what you're thinking. Have an awesome weekend, everyone, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.